Solution of Maxwell's equations for radiation problems. I am going to talk on the procedures for finding fields radiated by an antenna based on Maxwell's equations. The antenna problem consists of solving for the fields that are created by an impressed current distribution J. Suppose we want to compute the electric and magnetic field produced by this current J which flows on any antenna structure. We can use two Maxwell's equations. One of them is del cross E equals minus dou P by dou T, and another one equation is del cross H equals Jt, that is displacement current density. And these both equations are called coupled equations because here the electric and magnetic field both will present. In our case, the electric and magnetic field or the field to be determined, that is unknown. Since the unknown present in both equations, we are going to find some alternate method or to make it in uncoupled equations. We know the uncoupled equation is wave equations. Wave equations where either electric or magnetic field will present in one equations. Let us see now how to get the expressions for magnetic vector potential and electric scalar potential. Now, we know that one of the Maxwell equations is del dot B equals 0 because the magnetic flux lines are in the form of loops which has no source and no sinks, and hence the divergence of magnetic field will be 0. From the vector identity del dot del cross A equals 0. By the comparison of these two equations, we can write as del cross A equals B, and we know that B equals mu H. Therefore, H equals 1 over mu del cross A, where A is magnetic vector potential. Now, we know that del cross E equals minus j omega B, where B is mu H, and this B can be replaced by del cross A because B equals del cross A. When we bring these terms into the left hand side, then we can write as del cross E plus j omega A. This is the second equation, del cross E plus j omega A equals 0. And we know another one vector identity is del cross del pi equals 0. That is curl of a gradient of any scalar function is 0. By the comparison of these two equations, we can write as E plus j omega A equals del pi. The negative, the significance for this negative sign is the potential and the field will be in opposite directions. Therefore, E equals, you bring this term in the right hand side, E equals minus j omega A minus del pi. So, the field E and H are now expressed in terms of potential functions only. If we know the potential function A and pi, we can compute the electric field. So, the solution for the potential function can be computed as follows. The del cross H equals J plus Jt, where Jt is the displacement current density which is equals j omega epsilon E. And this del cross H, here you see this is H. If you take del cross in both sides, del cross H equals 1 over mu del cross A. Therefore, the del cross H is 1 over mu del cross A, which is equals this. By using the vector identity, the del cross A can be written as del of del dot A minus del square A. Now, you substitute these terms here and then you multiply the mu both sides, then you will be getting these expressions where you substitute E as minus j omega A minus del pi. You substitute the fifth equations in the place of E. Then you will be getting this equation 8. After the arrangements, this equation can be written as del square A plus omega square mu epsilon A minus del of j omega mu epsilon pi plus del dot A, which is equals minus mu j. Here, to eliminate this term, the third term, because why we need to eliminate, if you see this ninth equations, you can see that it is a second order partial differential equations. So it is like a del square A plus some constant times the variable A, which is equals some source. If you able to write it, it will be looks like a wave equations. Therefore, in order to make that form, we want to make the third term becomes 0. In order to make the third term become 0, we can make a condition on it. That is, if the del dot A equals minus j omega mu epsilon pi, then the third term becomes 0. The particular condition is called as Lorentz conditions. Now the ninth equations becomes del square A plus omega square mu epsilon A, which is equals minus mu j. It is just like a wave equation, which is called vector wave equations. If you see the 10th equations, this equation has two potential functions A and pi. That means these two potential functions are coupled together. Once we apply these conditions, okay, we can make this equations become a single variable equations. Del square A plus omega square mu epsilon A equals mu j, which has only one variable. Whereas if you see the ninth equation, it is in A as well as in pi, function of both. Therefore, it is a coupled equations of A and pi. In order to make a equation which has only one variable, we have applied the Lorentz conditions. Now, the E can be computed by, you see the E is minus j omega A minus del pi. So, from the 10th equations, you take the gradient both sides, del of del dot A equals, this is a constant, times del pi. Therefore, the del pi, in this place the del pi can be 1 by j omega mu epsilon del of del dot A. Therefore, the E equals minus j omega A minus j del of del dot A by this. This is the way to get the E. So, once we have the potential function A, then we can able to compute the electric field. Now, the vector wave equations is a vector, therefore, which has a 3 components. For example, in the Cartesian coordinate system, we can write the wave equation as del square A equals the x component of the A, that is Ax x cap, and y component of A, Ay y cap, and z component of A, Az z cap. Then we can solve these equations for the right hand side source of minus mu j, and j also a vector. When we compare the components in right hand side and with the left hand side, we can write the 3 equations, for one for x component and another one for y component and yet another one for z component. These are the 3 equations we will be getting. Next thing is, we have to find the solution for this equation, that is for A, where this omega square mu epsilon is beta. The beta is the phase constant for a propagative wave, and it is a measure of the shift in phase per unit distance of wave travel. By definition, a wave shifts 2 pi radian of phase for one full cycle. That is, one wavelength can be represented by lambda, which can be related with beta as beta equals 2 pi by lambda, and velocity of electromagnetic wave propagation is c equals 1 over root of mu epsilon. These three equations are identical form. After solving one of these equations, the other two are easily solved. We first find the solution for a point source. The unit impulse response solution can be used to form a general solution by viewing an arbitrary source as a collection of point sources. So, the differential equations for a point source is del square psi plus beta square psi equals minus del of x, del of y, del of z. So, here we are viewing this j, this source j as a impulse. Let me show you how the source j can be treated as a impulse. So, here a source j, so it is a conductor which carries a current I through it. This is the current I which is carried by this conductor, and the line current can be represented as I into dl. Let us say the length of the conductor is L. This is a conductor which carries a current I. The length is, let us say, L. If you take a very small length or segment or this conductor is dl, and when this dl is sensed to 0, is very teeny one, then it will be looks like a point source. So, the entire source of j can be sliced as a very small size of the source. So, the each very small size of the sources or can be treated as a impulse. The combined source response can be computed by using the impulse response of each small sources. Here the each small sources we are calling as impulse response, where psi is the response to a point source at the origin, and the del of x, y, z are the unit impulse functions or direct delta functions. The point source represents a small subdivision of current that does have a directions. But let us say one functions or the current element where the current flows is oriented along the direction of z, then the psi can be represented as Az, because the A is the potential, vector potential, magnetic vector potential. Since the current flow is taking place along the z axis, we can say the potentials also oriented in the same directions. Because the point source is 0 everywhere except at the origin, away from the origin there is no source. That means this right hand side is 0. It is a homogeneous sourceless second order equations, and this equation is called as Helmholtz equations or complex scalar wave equations, and this equation has two solutions, and we can compute the solution for this equation is easily. Let us replace by this del square is for the r dependence. We can replace this by dou r square plus beta square of psi equals 0. Then we can compute the psi. The psi will be e raised to the roots for the psi will be plus or minus beta r, okay, because r is the variable. Where we have fixed the flow, the power flow happens along the directions of radial directions, therefore it will be the function of r. and one solution can be written as e raised to plus j beta r divided by r, and another one solutions will be e raised to minus j beta r by r, because one root is plus j beta r, another one root is minus j beta r. Since the root are complex, we can write as e raised to the root, and another one will be e raised to minus of that root. The 1 by r present to represents as the wave is traveling in r direction, let us say in the radial direction of a spherical coordinate system, the amplitude will be reduced by 1 by r manners. And since this one is physically not realizable one, or this wave is this function which represents the wave which is traveling inward towards, that means towards the source, and this function which represents the wave which is traveling outward, that is away the source, and this wave we can calling as a forward traveling wave. This wave can be represented as a reverse or backward or reflected wave from the far end. Now the physically meaningful solution is e raised to minus j beta r by r. That's why we have taken this wave as a traveling wave. Then finally the solution for this equation, that is psi equals e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r. There will be a constant will be there in the some constant e raised to some roots. This way we will be getting the solution, or we are normally writing the solution for the second order homogeneous equations. That constant value is 4 pi, 1 by 4 pi. Then finally the psi equals e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r. Therefore this is a solution for this 12th equations. And see here the solution which has two parts. One is the phase parts beta r, another one is the amplitude part or magnitude part, which is a function of distance r. Therefore if the source were positioned at an arbitrary locations, we must compute the distance r between the source locations and observation point p. Let us say this is the source, this is the origin, this is the volumetric source which has J, that is a conduction current density J as the source here. The source is located at a distance of r prime from the origin, where r prime is the position vector which represents the position of the source with respect to origin. Normally the prime quantity, the symbol prime, is used in electromagnetic domain to represent the quantity which are related with source. And another one position vector rp, which represents the position of the field of interest point p with respect to the origin. Now the distance between the source and the point of interest p is r equals rp minus r prime. This is the general case. For that case we can replace the r by the uppercase r. Now the solution can be written as psi equals e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r. For an arbitrary z directed current density, the vector potential is also z directed. If we consider the source to be collection of point sources weighted by distribution jz, the response az is a sum of a point source responses of above equations. This is expressed by integral over the source volume V0. Therefore, the Az will be the volume integral of mu jz e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r of the volume integral over the dv prime. This one is corresponds to, see, the psi equals Az. Therefore, the psi is replaced by Az. For the total response, we have to take the integral over the volume. Therefore, it is a volume integral, and we include the source here Jz, because this solution is for the unit impulse. For the given source Jz, we have to multiply the source with the unit impulse. Then we can write Az as this expressions. The similar equations can be written for the x and y components because the A has 3 components. The A has 3 components Ax, Ay, Az. We have computed the solution for Az. Similarly for Ax and Ay, if you see this equation 11, all the 3 equations are identical. Therefore, once we compute the solution for Az, we can just replace the z by x and y. Then we will be getting the solution for the other 2 components also. This way you can write. Therefore, for the general solution, A equals volume integral of mu j e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r dv prime. This is the solution to the vector wave equations. And this vector wave equations is very important for the computation of electric and magnetic field induced by the current density J, which is flows on any radiating element.